everybody, to the Resistance broadcast. I'm your host, John Hoey. Thank you so much for being with us today, being a part of the Resistance. And we have an announcement that today our Patreon is live. I don't know exactly when we launched this thing, but our Patreon page is live. If you guys didn't listen to Thursday's episode, we broke down all 5 tiers, but you can go there now, patreon.com/Resistance broadcast. Take a look, check it out. If you see a tier that you're interested in, join the Resistance full time. All right, so we have a great show for you today. As you may know, there was a lot of news this past week. We're going to get into it in a bit. But before we do, as always, let's welcome in James Bainey and Lacey Gillerin. Guys, what is going on? How are you?
What is going on is the Patreon, man. Like, I am surprised we actually had some people kind of sneaking into the Resistance base over the weekend.
I left the door open.
Caught us off guard there.
Yeah, and we did some shout outs to them and stuff, but I just can't believe already the response that we've gotten from the Patreon. I expected to launch it and people to be like, oh, this is cool, but like it really seems like people are really wanting this to happen. They're excited about it, and I'm pumped to be part of I'm already pumped to be part of the Star Wars community, but to be part of the small Patreon Resistance community is just huge to me. This is going to be amazing, this next journey we're getting ready to go on.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I got my Porg shirt on. I'm like super excited. Yay,
I love how when you picked that shirt up, it was like a Porg, like a groundhog sticking its head out of the hole, just like hello. I have to echo those sentiments that you said, James. It's a small little nugget that we have in the fandom, right? But doing these extra things and this exclusive content and these other videos, it just kind of like, I think it brings the audience in with us in a weird way.
And it means a lot.
All different kinds of videos, and like I may even go out and like do some stuff in public and just like the random Kylo question things I want to do. I'll explain to you guys later.
I'm anxious for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's like Tom Green, but it's like asking Star Wars questions. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But I'm just so excited. For, like James said, for those of you who did already sign up and you snuck into the base, you found out the back door was open and you got in. Good for you. Thank you so much. And for everyone else who's here on the launch days, welcome. Guys, we have a show to do though. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I'm actually pumped for this week, man.
There's a lot of news to get into. So before we do that, let's head over to... We have news. We actually have the Scoundrel's Rundown is back this week, believe it or not. So we're going to do that as well. The Falcon is out of the shop, so we're going to fire that one up and see if the hyperdrive works. But before that, let's see if these poll results work, guys. We had asked you, do you want Anakin Skywalker? Now, this is a hot button issue. People keep talking about this. On both sides of the aisle here, do you want Anakin Skywalker to appear in Star Wars Episode 9? And these results blew me away. 78% of you out there said you do want Anakin Skywalker to appear in Episode 9.
No.
22% said no. And I have to admit, guys, I was a part of the losing vote there. I was
in the 22%.
You were too? How about you, James?
Yeah, look, we got a discussion to talk about on Thursday. But I'm just going to say, I guess my thing is, why not?
Wow, what a show. That's like a flip for you because you're so anti-Force Ghost, as everyone knows at this point.
I'm
so you're saying
you, James.
Do you want to see him as a Force Ghost, or you think they're going to do some kind of weird flashback thing? What's your vibe on that? We'll get into it more Thursday, like you said, but just to get an idea of where you're at.
Just to get an idea of where I'm at, I think... part of my brain is just kind of I don't know what it is yet. I don't think the story necessarily calls for it, but I think they're going to do it because why not? And I have other examples of other situations where they kind of fall back on that why not thing.
Why nots. Yeah.
Yeah, other why nots. So
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to, at least on social media, a lot of the fans out there, there's a lot of different reasons why people want this to happen. Some I think are kind of crazy, I gotta admit. Some make sense. A lot of it is fan service mixed with justice for Hayden, I guess is one way to put it.
I get that. He kind of got the short stick, huh?
But when it comes to just Star Wars fandom in general, like that's my thing is like hey, would you want episode 9 to be this thing with hundreds of Jedis and all these lightsabers and crazy stuff? I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. And then other people, what if it was just like this smaller story with like these characters and it's just like a personal driven piece? And I'm like, sure. Yeah, like I'm down. There's so
You're just down.
I just love Star Wars.
You're just down. Yeah.
So when I read these things about like, do you want, or should he appear, should he not? I don't know. I have my opinions too, but at the same time, if they ultimately do it, I'm like, I'm there. I'm front in line, first.
Yeah,
in
I get
line,
that. I just don't know if it makes sense. And
yeah. Well,
let's save it for Thursday.
We'll get into this more. We're doing a full discussion on Thursday. About this exact topic. So we'll save it for that. You got a little taste of it there, and we'll pick it up on Thursday. But we did have a best comment before we move on to the news, and that was by Adam Green at Velcro Face. That's a pretty funny handle.
Adam Green.
The guy wakes up in the morning and it's just
but he's like,
yeah. Velcro Face. I wonder if he's like the upgrade to Shoelace Face, and there's like a rival out there named Shoelace Face out there. Because when I was a kid,
there's Tape Face.
Tape
right?
Face, right? Of course, yeah. And
from America's Got Talent.
This is a weird conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Well, okay, but he's kind of a celebrity in his own right. But.
Mr. Velcro Face, who's a celebrity on our episode right now, said Ben Solo rejected most of his family, but idolizes Vader. If Anakin came to him and basically told him, "I'm the guy you've been worshiping, and you've not gotten your facts straight about me," it could be the thing that either sinks him for good or triggers his redemption.
Adam, thank you so much for saying that.
I mean, he said it could be on either side of the coin.
Thank you so much for being.
Yeah, John, you got to admit, if Anakin did show up, those two having a conversation has got to be somewhat interesting to you, right?
No.
Well, there was that rumor going around on Reddit that like he has this like crazy moment in 9 where he sees all the pain Anakin goes through or something. I don't know. It was weird.
I got news for that Reddit rumor.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
If you haven't signed up for our Patreon yet, I am doing videos where I'm going to run down all the latest and hottest rumors that are mostly made up out there and trash the hell out of them. And it's going to be pretty interesting. So sign up for the Patreon. But anyway, James, we have news, man. We got news to talk about this week.
I can't believe it. Finally.
The Resistance Report is firing on all cylinders. Take it away, man.
It's the Resistance.
All right, guys. This is. I'm gonna state it right out. I am so pumped for this news.
I knew you would be. As soon as I saw this, I was like, James is gonna be so excited.
Yeah, I'll get into it. But
I mean, you're definitely the biggest Rogue One fan out of the three of us. We all love it, but I think
Absolutely.
You're the biggest of the three.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
He's like, yeah. Shut up. I'm trying to.
The earnings call. We had the earnings call. Disney, quarterly, money and talking. Bob Iger's on this thing, and he dropped a couple of nuggets. One of which, just a quick one, is that the streaming service officially called Disney Plus, which is like a plus sign, not PLUS. That was kind of interesting. We've been waiting to hear that for a while. But the other one is that they are they're developing a Rogue One prequel television series featuring the main character is going to be Cassian Andor, and it's going to be set in that period, the birth of the Rebel Alliance, and they're going to be going on missions and doing these little things, getting it all set up. So we're probably going to get a lot of how he is Fulcrum and some stuff like that. I am so pumped for this. Like, I love Cassian Andor, and like, he is one of those people to me that falls so close to Kanan on like one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars.
Wow.
I love everything about him, and I think that this is like the perfect opportunity. You've got an actor, and I don't mean it offensively, but an actor that's like not A-list, like totally there, but like he's so good, so
he was
great.
in Dirty Dancing, Havana Nights. Okay,
he was in The Terminal,
legit.
and I have a soft spot for the movie The Terminal.
I do like Havana Nights, though, to be fair.
But guys, I got to hear what you think about this. So Lacey, Cassian Andor's coming back.
Nobody puts Cassian in a corner.
We're gonna get some new adventures. Do you think this is the right move for Disney as the next television series after The Mandalorian, or still during The Mandalorian, most likely?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that is super cool. It's one of those news stories that I was like totally caught off guard and was like, really? But then like I'm so excited about it. I loved Rogue One. I thought it was great. I was very sad with the ending, spoiler alert, that, you know, he dies and everybody's kind of just like
I haven't seen
dead.
it yet.
So to get to explore these characters, specifically this one, even further, I want to know how he became so jaded. Like in the beginning of the movie, you're like, wow, he like just killed a guy. So yeah. I want to know how he got to that point. I think it would be super interesting to watch. And I'm just pumped that I have a service that's only Disney stuff, because let's be honest, that's all I care about anyway. So can I also do a shout out that there's going to be a Loki series too? Anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I heard about that.
With Tom Hiddleston.
Yep.
There's another one too.
There goes that young Palpatine thing we were hoping for.
Yeah, with Winter Soldier and War Machine, I think. Am I wrong on that?
Who cares? It's Marvel. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for it. That's
That's the future
all
of
that
Marvel,
matters.
man.
They
They're
have
doing
my
all
money.
those TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting my money. Yeah.
Instead of Disney Plus, they should have just called it Disney $, and that would have made way more sense.
Yeah.
They totally should
Instead of the plus is the dollar.
Yeah, just like
Disney,
Bob Iger,
you
just
know-
like,
The S in Disney is the $. There you go.
Disney, we know you're just going to pay for this. Disney, it could be anything and you'll buy it.
It's just Bob Iger like this. That's the logo.
So, John.
It's a $1 bill with Bob Iger's face as the logo.
Yeah, perfect.
So
Perfect.
nobody expected this, right? Nobody was thinking like there.
I don't think
the
anybody
next
did.
Obvious choice is this. So is this a good move, John, or do you think this is like, what are they doing? Like there's so many other things they could have done.
It's a mixed bag for me. You know, I've been kind of pumping the brakes on going back and telling stories where we already know that character's conclusion. Because for me, that takes away a lot of the suspense. I know he's going to survive whatever this show's about. So I know once this show starts, Cassian Andor is coming out of the end of that show alive. So that already crosses out the worry and concern and suspense I have for him that I do have for like Rey and characters who were telling stories that haven't had an after point yet.
You mean like Kylo?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about him. So I think that's a little, I'm like, meh, but I do like that we're getting more Cassian Andor. One, because I thought Diego Luna killed it in that role, and I was left, you know, saying like, oh, well, now what? He's dead. Now we're, you know, what are we gonna do now? So
Now what?
Now what? Now he can't come back as a Force ghost. I don't think so. I like the fact that he's coming back, and then I started thinking, I'm like, timelines, beginning of the rebellion. Enfys Nest gave something to Saw Gerrera.
I want an Enfys Nest show.
I think,
so
guys,
bad.
I think Enfys Nest is going to be in this show.
You think so?
I think so. That's
So,
what I think they're going to mix. I think they're going to mix it up a little bit. You're going to get a little Cloud
people
Rider
loved her so
gang
much, yeah.
crossing paths with Cassian.
I hate to pitch so much on that Thursday episode, but are we wanting to save some of this for our Will of the Force questions?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry, people who only listen on Mondays.
Cough,
have
cough.
to listen on Thursday
Enfys
now.
best. Cough, cough.
That's the thing.
Enfys
Just as a clue, we have a list of characters that we are gonna say, do we think this person
James,
will or won't be in the show?
What you're saying, James, is let's save the Enfys rest of this conversation for Thursday. Waka waka. No, but dude, I overall I dig it. I think it's gonna be a good show. Give me some K2SO.
K2.
Maybe some Galen Urso again. Well, I know I don't want to spoil the whole Thursday thing, but ultimately it's a Star Wars show. One thing I did hear right before we went on the air, though, is that it's probably not going to go in production for a while. So we're probably looking at a 2020 type of situation on the release of this, is my guess.
I think it's an interesting choice, considering it was so closely tied to Rogue One, and Rogue One was the exact thing that we got before when they made this announcement. Hey, there's a whole galaxy out there, and our first standalone movie is going to be about these spies from the Crawl.
The Death Star.
Everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
Why is that your first thing? And then guess what? It ended up being like amazing and a lot of people's favorite standalone. So it's kind of feels fitting that they out of nowhere. Okay, we didn't all, but we all were kind of expecting that Mandalore thing. It had been talked about. We were like, oh, that's a good opportunity for them. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And they did. They took that opportunity. But this again was just like so out of left field. And we're all like, whoa.
And James,
okay, let's do it.
You know what else this does? If this show and The Mandalorian are received well, you know I've been pushing hard for Make Solo 2 happen. We may be getting a Solo TV series.
Maybe.
Yeah,
or if not a series where it's like season 1, season 2, maybe a 8 to 10 episode.
Yeah.
Let's finish that story with Alden and Chewie and round it out, and
It could be a mini-series. They do mini-series all the time.
Yeah.
I think the possibility of Lando, Donald Glover showing back up, and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you're dead on.
It.
Again, it's so weird. I mentally kind of planned for the Thursday episode to talk about all this, but
we'll
okay,
talk
then let's
about
move
it
on.
Again.
I want to talk about the next one anyway.
Yeah, all right. Well, we got another story, and this one involves Lacey's favorite person on the planet Earth.
Me.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Adam
no,
Driver.
Ugh.
Adam Driver this week was giving an interview, and
he's been doing
he
a
was
lot of
asked-
interviews, actually.
Yeah.
It's that award season.
Yeah, he's got a Collider interview that I believe launches today. So if you haven't checked that out, go watch For Your Consideration with Scott Mantz.
I wish he'd show up to my work.
But he was doing some interviews, and he just kind of said some stuff. They asked him, what's your favorite part about playing Kylo Ren? And I won't quote him exactly, but the general idea is he says, I can't really answer that question because we've been building up to something that's going to happen in episode 9 that I can't really talk about. So that is his answer, is why he loves playing Kylo Ren is most
and
exciting
then Mickey
thing
Mouse
is something
fades into the
that
darkness.
hasn't happened yet. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, he
With
shows up
with
for
the
like
gun.
1
He's
second,
like-
just shows him like the gun. Yeah. All right, Lacey, let's just let's blast right to you because I know you're blowing up over there. What do you got to say about this? Do you think this is a good sign, a bad sign? Do you think that this points to his redemption, or what are we talking here?
Guys, I think this fully points to his redemption. I think that that's where this has been going. And okay, John, hear me out, John. This doesn't mean he's
Don't
not
shake
going
your
to
head,
die.
John.
I'm saying this just means that he's going to be redeemed. I just think that that's the kind of thing that Disney's building towards. I don't think they would end this in a way that's like, he's the bad guy. I just don't see that happening, guys. You can argue with me if you want. Twitter is at Lacey Gillerin, but
Well, they didn't do it with Vader.
I don't see them doing it. I don't see them ending this saga on a negative note. And George Lucas said he's always wanted these movies to end on a light note. So when you left, you were uplifted and happy and enjoying the saga, and it wasn't about sadness or tragedy.
There's other characters besides Kylo Ren that could have happy endings in the movie.
Of course. I'm not saying that. I'm saying everyone deserves a happy ending. Not just Rey
like the
and
end
Finn.
of Roger Rabbit when all the cartoons
like
bust through the wall.
Disney movie, the overarching company of this series. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
could
think it
understand
means
that too.
I think it means something that.
Remember when
it would
Scar
just-
died at the end of Lion King?
Yeah. I mean, Palpatine dies, and it's happy because the villain was defeated, but I understand the perspective.
You did not compare him to Scar. In
Well,
Lion
actually,
King.
a lot of people didn't watch the end. Back in the day, no one watched the end of the credits because there weren't these like scenes that came up. But if you go back and watch the Lion King, if you wait till the end of the credits, Scar actually crawls back out, and he's still alive, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're cool. Come hang out. We're good." And then everyone had a happy ending. So
Yeah.
that didn't.
And then he says, "I know what I have to do," and then he
Yeah.
throws himself back off the cliff.
back to the wildebeests. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry,
boy.
I don't think he would say like something like that unless it was building to something awesome.
Can I give my thoughts on this?
And he's always said that Kylo is never guilty. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's his perspective on it. So, John, let me ask you, if he's locked into this character and he says that his character I don't consider him a villain because, Kylo himself, Ben Solo, doesn't consider himself a villain. So if somebody says, what are you most excited about playing this? He says, I'm excited to see what, is going to happen in the next movie. I mean, I've been leading up to this.
Right.
What do you think personally that means?
I don't know.
Go ahead, John.
Because he didn't use the word building. He said we're working towards something in particular with that character. I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
Her redemption.
Yeah. I took that quote as a brilliant, for a guy who doesn't do a lot of interviews and stuff, a brilliant no response. It's like when
a politician.
Or like the best baseball coaches are in an interview after getting shellacked and they just say a lot of words and they don't really give you any information. It's just one of those things. And I felt like, and I put it in the article that I wrote about this, Adam Driver walked into a room full of thousands of Star Wars fans, dropped this quote in the middle, walked away, and smiled. Because he's just like, he didn't say anything here. This could mean, who knows what this means. But I love how delightfully coy it was. I mean, who's going into episode 9 not expecting great, awesome character arc conclusion for Kylo Ren, regardless of what it is? We saw
everybody really.
He was great in episode 7. He was even better in episode 8 because you saw the more of the human side of him without the helmet for the whole time. And now I think he's going to give the best Star Wars acting performance in one single movie in episode 9. So I'm expecting them to be building towards something. This isn't going to be one of those things where it's just like, there's Kylo Ren again. And he's just he's Kylo Renning all over the place. It's like, no, there's a purpose and there's something going on.
What does it mean to Kylo Ren all over the place?
What doesn't it mean? What doesn't it mean?
You used it as a verb. I'm wondering what that verb means.
What doesn't it mean?
I think to be Kylo Renning, it means to be screaming and hitting things with your lightsaber a lot, going like like that. I think that's Kylo
You mean
Renning.
Where he's like freaks out when he has his temper tantrum?
Yes, that's Kylo Renning. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Webster's will confirm that as an actual term in 2019.
So Lacey, I from my point of view, I think you could be right, and that's why I think I agree.
I haven't been wrong yet. Woo! Except about Val because she was not Infus Nest.
Yeah. I think you could be right, which is why, and that is what Adam Driver is saying here, but also that's why I agree with John, is because I don't think he really said anything substantial.
You guys ever seen that meme where they have the reporter interviewing the sports player and he's like, yeah, we sportsed really hard. And then the other guy sportsed too, so we're really sportsing a lot here.
You gotta give 110%
We're
every
just
day.
sportsing. Like, that's what I think of this quote as.
So if somebody said like, hey, you're going to get to play the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I think this has all been like building up to something really cool, and that's like what I'm excited about. It doesn't, I mean, being able to portray this character that could be Kylo Renning all over the place. He's mad, he's angry, he's powerful, he's destructive. That could be really cool to Adam Driver as a Star Wars fan. So it doesn't really say anything, but again, I also see that he could be interested in his character growing to a point where he understands what he's done, being saved, being redeemed, all that stuff. That all makes sense too. This is why this quote is so perfect. John's right. It doesn't really give us anything except for it feeds or it fuels the argument that you already have, which is if you think it's one way, this feeds it.
It's a Rorschach. It's the ultimate Rorschach test.
I wonder if
I see this.
Yeah, I wonder if you were to ask Adam Driver and there was like a cone of silence, like no one would ever know the answer. If you asked him if he wanted Kylo Ren to die or not, what he would say?
He would say yes.
You'd think that, but maybe not. I'm just curious. I
think ultimately, did you guys ever see the movie Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell?
No.
No. Is that his like serious movie?
Yeah,
or
isn't
whatever?
that like his depressing movie that's not old school?
Yeah.
Or Elf or anything
Okay.
funny?
Okay. Well, first of all, it's a good movie, but secondly, the point of the movie was that ultimately he knew he was going to die, and that he was, spoiler alert, he was saved, and the result of it is they said the story where he lives isn't as good as the one where he dies, because ultimately that's the story that everybody wants to hear about. You talked about it with Cassian. I already know he dies. I already know where this goes. So what's the point? And life and death is the ultimate story. So when you put that on the line, that's the real thing. So I think that ultimately most people say if this character is killed.
Well,
But at the same time, I could see JJ saying that's the easy way out. I could see JJ saying that.
Name a 3-arc story where your main villain survives
He's
at
more
the
of an
end
anti-hero.
Darth
and
Vader.
everything's
Star Wars original trilogy.
He died. What are you talking about? He
I
didn't
mean,
live.
okay, that's true. He did, but he was redeemed, is what I was saying.
I'm saying like name a story of that in that vein where your main villain lives at the end and everything's cool. Like it just doesn't happen. He's dying. It's
Right,
100% he's dying.
Return of the Jedi, he dies and he's redeemed, but he still dies.
Guys, we got another story.
We'll come back
We
to
do
this
have
another
story.
time.
Hey, Adam Driver, give us some more
This is a whole
quotes.
discussion in itself.
Adam, I love you. Come on the podcast. Bye. All right, next.
Now he's gonna come on the podcast.
He's never coming on the podcast. Adam, please.
All right, we got one more story. Let's do this. So we got ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, and you guys may have heard of them in the Star Wars world. They've done some things to help move things along. They've
done other things too,
massive,
like Transformers and stuff.
For sure. They were so established with the stuff that they did on Star Wars. They've become like the industry standard for like the best special effects and all sorts of stuff like that. ILM has now, I believe it was brought back, but as of now, they're launching a television division with a group of people, and this is to get started on so many other projects, not Star Wars related, but their first main focus is going to be The Mandalorian, which is really exciting. And then probably now, right on the cuffs of this announcement, we got the Cassian Andor show. The Cassian Andor show live.
He's like, hey everybody, welcome to the Cassian Andor show with special guest K2SO.
Yeah, no, it's not his guest. It's his like co-host that's like off to the side that he talks
like
to,
the Andy Richter or something. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
But
he's like, hey K2, how was your weekend? He's like, oh, it was okay. Went to Taco Bell. That was a mistake. Oh, right. Okay.
So we got this show, or we got this group, and they're creating a television division. And this is really just because they've come out and they said, look, we realize now television is like growing and growing, and it's getting bigger and better. And we think that this is the way that people are starting to take their entertainment, less so on the big budget films, but they want big budget television. So we're creating this team. John, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a smart move for ILM? Does this make sense? Is this a long time coming?
I mean, this is a long time coming. This is the paramount of all special effects companies. Not a shock at all. It's a reassurance that your Star Wars TV series aren't going to look like cable TV series, right?
Yeah.
So
or Doctor Who.
They're going to get the Star Wars treatment. It's not going to be like, because there's some good shows I like on cable TV. Like I was a big Sons of Anarchy fan and all these other shows. But then when it came to the special effects for those shows, it was like, ooh.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was terrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, you're
or
just
like CW stuff, yeah.
Yeah, you're just a little bit like, ooh. So now that you have the big guns locked in, Disney means business. Lucasfilm's getting everything they need to make these shows the way they want to make them. And the most important part, it's going to have that cohesive look and that flow. Like I talked about last week, the importance of the Star Wars special editions being revitalized and sharper and with the new effects. It allows you to watch everything and stay in the galaxy and not say, oh, this looks like it's from TV or this looks like it's from 1970. It's so important. And the fact that they're doing it, to me, I don't care about the details. Just the fact that I know ILM is doing it is the ultimate reassurance for me as a Star Wars fan.
So yeah, I'm super excited about this. I always get turned off by bad stuff from like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Doctor Who or like sci-fi like Sharknado stuff. I can't get into it because the special effects are so bad. So the idea that they're investing in really good TV makes me super excited, because the only time I really go to the movies is honestly for Star Wars. I don't really go to the movies a lot because it's so expensive now. So I'd rather, if I'm going to spend the money, I'd rather do it in my PJs at my house, watching like something really legit on my 4K TV. Like, that's what I enjoy.
Sweet brag.
Yeah, like that.
Sweet brag on that 4K TV. Well, I don't. I'm rocking the 1080. I might as well have like a VHS, VCR.
Yep.
But anyway, this is super exciting because I'm all about watching entertainment in the house, you know?
Yep.
My time.
Right on.
Yeah, I think I am all about the theater. I loved going to the theater, but now I have a son, so every time I hear that, like, they're like, "Oh, the Marvel movies are moving more towards television," I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine with me. Right. Star Wars, you know, doing the same thing. We're like, hey, we're going to be doing a movie. That'll be like, you know, once a year, once every other year, something like that. Also, we're going to be doing like 5 movies in the first season of this TV show. It's going to be just like at your home. I'm like, dude, I'm all about this. Side note too, when we're talking about TV, like so far, guys, the Resistance has been great. I love that episode that recently featured like Kylo Ren. He wasn't there, but he was mentioned.
Yeah, the children.
Yeah,
which
Tehar,
we called that, guys, weeks ago. We called that they were going to mention him.
Yep.
So
you're going to hear a little more about that in the Scoundrel
Seems
rundown.
like that show could be leaning to sort something.
Absolutely. Cool. It's that time.
Right.
I should read the show notes.
That's all right.
All right, guys. Well, if you have anything else to say about the ILM thing, I don't really. I think, like I said, we all talked about it. It's a long time coming. It's a great move. It's everything we ever wanted as far as Star Wars being on TV, and knowing that ILM is handling it is great. So not a whole lot to be said about that. I say we do, for the first time in a while, and for the first time on video, we have the Scoundrels Rundown. Are you ready for this, John?
Yeah. What people don't know is I always do that every time. I'm like, psych myself up.
His face.
All right. So for the first time on video and the first time in a long time, here's to all of you out there. Let's all together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch
it!
Nope,
right.
I'm not punching it.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. James is the only one who didn't punch it. That's okay. Him and Sheeran Imwe. I'm blind. I can't do it.
I can't
Freeze
punch
frame.
it. I'm blind.
All right. Guys, our first story on the rundown this week. Again, just a reminder, our Patreon is live. That is news for us. So go to patreon.com/Resistance Broadcast to join one of 5 tiers for exclusive content, rewards, giveaway opportunities, and a chance to be an immersive part of the Resistance with us. So go check that out. Our next story, Ron Howard is down to come back to Star Wars. He was asked if he would ever return to do another Star Wars movie. And Ron Howard said, if the story was right and they wanted me back, I would love to come back to that galaxy. And it makes sense. We're talking full circle here from a guy who got his start acting with George Lucas in American Graffiti. He went on to direct a Lucasfilm movie in Willow, and he came back to do Solo, Save Solo, and we're hoping that he does return because Ron Howard, I think, did a great job with that movie, and he is a part of the fabric of Lucasfilm from the beginning. So I think that is great that he would want to come back because I think everyone else would agree they would want him back. So come on back, Ron. We love you. The final story that James kind of alluded to a little bit, Kylo Ren murdered another village, folks.
Aww.
On Star Wars Resistance.
I didn't think you'd go to that.
He's Kylo running all over the place.
He Kylo Ren'd all over that village.
Aww.
In the episode The Children from Tehar, you had 2 kids, orphans, which has never been told in Star Wars before. So way to go introducing an orphan angle. You had these 2 kids saying that Kylo Ren murdered their entire family, their people, their village.
Did he or did he order for the murdering?
I mean, look, he did it. Okay, so if you live in the Star Wars galaxy and you live in a village, you better hope Kylo Ren doesn't come to town, because that's 2 villages now that we know of that he is destroyed. So, in addition to the 5 planets he was a part of blowing up, but Kylo Ren murdered another village,
which
and that
was
is
Kaz's home planet.
Yes, Hazian Prime. Yes. Okay. Now, that is the last story in our rundown. So for all of the stories that we feature in the Resistance Report and the Scoundrels Rundown, head to StarWarsNewsNet.com. Every day, every week, we got some cool stuff on there. And stay up to date. How do I usually end this thing? Oh, that's right. Chewie, get us out of here.
Oh, so I go now.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's that time again for Ask the Resistance. You guys have tons of Star Wars questions. Hopefully, we have some really good answers.
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
So first, we have Sean Santarude, who always seems to be first, by the way, when we have questions. At Rude Cold. How rude. And he asks, how do you guys think the Jedi texts will play a role in Episode 9? And I'm going to take this one because I love Episode 9. And just, I'm awesome. So
Lacey already loves Episode 9, folks.
I do. I'm so excited about it. And I love that, like, John Boyega is giving us, like, desert videos and, like, him playing, like, Street Fighter with Oscar.
It's kind of exciting. I feel like I'm there with them.
Yeah, I wonder how much they're monitoring that. He's probably like, oh, whatever. Anyway, so I think that the Jedi texts will be used a little bit. I don't think they're going to be like a focal point. I think they might lead Rey where she needs to go next. Because right now she's in this, like, what happened? What do I do with my hands? Like, what am I doing right now? So I think they're going to tell her where to find, you know, Kyber crystals, or they might give her some insight on, like, what her next steps are, or, like, how to deal with Kylo, something like that. But I don't know how much more they'll play. Well, you obviously see her take them, so do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I don't think they're going to play any role at all. I think the fact that she simply saved the library and that we just know that it wasn't destroyed will play a role in other stories down the line with future Jedi.
Because in the comics, she was trying to transcribe it with C-3PO.
Yeah, but I think that's the comics, and I think they're allowed to, like, dive in a little bit more on that type of stuff.
James said, yeah, that's the comics. James.
The truth comes out. The truth will set you free.
I think that's the reality of it, but I think that all that stuff is important and it matters.
I think it's important. You had Yoda saying the girl has everything she needs, which alluded to the fact that she took the books, so it was kind of didn't matter that they burned the tree. But I don't think Rey's going to be like
sacred text.
She's not going to be like, hold on a minute, hold on.
That's still one of my favorite lines.
According to Clause 5, Segment E, you cannot cut my hand off. That is not a part of it, you know. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But I think we'll see them. I think they're kind of cool looking, so we may see that she put them somewhere. But I don't know.
Yeah, she just creates a really Instagram-y bookshelf or something, a shelfie, if you will.
A shelfie. Fantastic.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, next is Loro, parenthesis, ho, 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 knows. Oh,
are we starting already? We just finished the Halloween stuff.
Can I just side note really quick? John got so mad when James and I left our spooky names up one extra day to the point that he, like, threw a fit. He was like, guys, it is not Halloween. It was like 9 a.m. the next day, and John was like, can you please change your names?
It was honestly because James was so stupid. His was obligatory name Annie. It was like
spooky,
I don't want to
spooky name.
I don't want to
Annie.
look at this anymore.
It's
Lacey
just the point that
Gillibrand or whatever.
It was Gularin, but it was just so funny because it was like 9 a.m. the next day. And you're like, guys, it's not Halloween anymore.
Yeah. November
Change your
1st.
names.
Yeah, enough. Oh my god.
We were talking about something important.
You're embarrassing
too.
yourselves.
I'm pretty sure we were having a conversation like, what should we do for the launch? And John's like, I don't care. Can you change your
First
name?
things first, yeah. And now we got the Christmas ones coming, so.
Oh, I can't wait.
John
You can do John
Ho-Ho-Hoey.
Ho-Hoey. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
All right. So they said, what characters from other Star Wars mediums have the best chance in showing up in 9? I had to spread that out because I'm scrolling right and left. James, what do you think? Who do you think's going to show up in 9 from other mediums? So that's books.
Or
obviously.
who has the best chance? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that. Oh man, it's tough because I really don't think that they do this. I think JJ writes his own story, and I think that they may mention, hey, you could use this character because we heard that with Saw Gerrera. He wrote a character, and then they're like, we actually kind of have already character that would fit this bill, which I really wish they would do more of. You know what I mean? Hey, you're in this time period. You want to do this? We already have a character for that, and fans are going to love this. And they're like, okay, cool, why not? Right?
Right.
But I honestly just don't really think that's going to happen much for episode 9, especially since they just want to give the writers of this story their like complete freedom to really nail this home. No handcuffs. But
James,
the question
what would you
is,
do if Ahsoka showed up?
Oh God.
What would you do though if she showed up?
I
Or
mean, I would
Ezra,
love it.
Or
I'm sure. Like I said at the
Chopper.
beginning of this episode, like if they did that stuff, I'm like, okay, let's do it. This is the new thing. Like I think that stuff would be cool, but at the same time, like I just really don't think they're gonna do it.
Gee, how does Ezra show up though? Like you'd have to be like, "Hi, I'm Ezra," because he's not gonna look like the cartoon. So you have to he has to wear a name tag. Be like, "I'm Ezra Bridger. What's your name?"
There's a mobile game that they did. They did the characters Ezra and Sabine, and they did them like live. They look real.
Oh, really?
All the characters look, and they look really cool. The way that they chose to style them.
My question is though, Thrawn was only book Thrawn until Filoni
Rebels
brought him
Thrawn.
into Rebels.
Yeah.
And I was in the
Yeah.
room when that trailer played, and Thrawn came on screen, and people lost their minds. So you're telling me that no one from any other medium can end up in the live action?
No. Well, okay. So here, let me actually answer the question. I don't think that Thrawn will be in it. But my choice.
I didn't
for
say
the
Thrawn. I
person-
just said an example that obviously
Yeah,
one
yeah.
character jumped from one medium to the other.
I think that if they were going to bring in a character, and I know you guys are probably going to roll your eyes at this, but the only one that almost
Kanan?
maybe kind of makes sense to me is Gracchus the Hutt.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Kanan.
No.
Raise your
Gracchus the
hand if you
Hutt-
know who Gracchus the Hutt is.
Yeah, I know.
Anyone?
Okay, but here's the thing:
Anyone?
is that
Bueller?
in the comics, they've stated they've told the story that the only person who has really responded to Leia's calls is Gracchus the Hutt, and
Yes.
he's kind of a popular character in the comics. Now, the only reason I think that could be a possibility, we had a question a couple weeks ago that said, what is the chances that we're going to see these people who have been helping these outsiders and stuff? And I was kind of caught in between. I was like, I don't really think they're going to be a main role, but they also are the only people who are helping to build an army. So if that's true, and these people are going to be visible, the comics have already stated that one of the main people helping is Gracchus the Hutt. And just as a side note, bonus, not really related, but that also kind of means you get a Hutt character in the third movie, which is kind of familiar to Star Wars. And I feel like JJ might do something that's kind of quote unquote familiar to Star Wars. So there's something kind of with that. I don't know. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be Thrawn or any of these other characters that are like big fan favorites. I think if they're going to do it, they're going to slip in some character who works for the Resistance who showed up in this book one time or something, almost backgroundy character. But I think visually a giant, because Grak is like a bodybuilder giant hut. I think that would be really visually cool to see. Like, holy crap, man, they're really stepping up their game here. So that's my answer.
Okay, so low carb hut coming to episode 9.
All right. Yeah. So up next we have Joshua.
He's on keto diet.
At Darth Glucosa, and he asks, while I loved Solo, one thing has me baffled. Why would Han pass on a fake last name to his son? Perhaps Ben Organa could have worked as an alternative. I know I'm overthinking, but what are your thoughts on this? John, tell us what as a new father.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I have to admit, I did love Solo. So Joshua, I don't take that the wrong way. I loved Solo. Obviously, you know that. You probably heard me talk about that ad nauseum. But I didn't like how they had him get his name. I was a little bothered by that.
So many people were upset about that. Yeah.
I thought that was a weird, like, oh, that was like the we gotta save Martha moment for Solo for me. They're like, oh, Solo, he's by himself, so let's wedge that in there and make it like that. Like,
he's by himself.
Yeah, I really did not like how he got his
and the pencil.
Yeah. I just didn't like how he got his name that way. So if I could change it in my head, I wish I could. But how he got it doesn't matter. It became his identity. He was Han Solo. He introduced himself as Han Solo. He made that cool. It's like when you hear a dumb band name like Korn, and all of a sudden they sell millions of records, and you're like, oh, it's a cool band name. He was Han Solo. He made that name cool. So passing that on after 30 years makes sense to me.
He was probably proud.
Yeah, he made the name cool. I guess that's the best way to put it. So
he landed a princess.
Yeah. And while he got the name in a way of loneliness and it was fed to him by the Imperials, he kind of flipped the script and was like, no, I'm taking this back. I'm making this my name.
But then his son became lonely. Full circle.
6 degrees of friggin' Kylo Ren once again with Lacey. Unbelievable. All right. Well, anyway, Joshua, I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much for it, Sir Darth Glucosa. And
I really like that name.
I'm curious where you came up with Darth Glucosa. I don't know if you've ever told us before. So hit us up on Twitter. Let us know. Thanks, man.
I love that name.
I actually know that.
All right. Up next is Darth Hurricane at Darth Hurricane. John.
Well, I mean, it's not his real name, so.
But he got the handle.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean,
but you could make that first part whatever it is.
Yeah, I could be like Darth Blanket and be like, well, you got my handle, Darth Blanket.
Okay,
Isn't
sassy.
Darth Blanket someone who writes to us? Really close to Blanket.
Anytime I kid around, Lacey calls me sassy. It's like
sassy, snarky. All right.
That wasn't snarky. It wasn't snarky.
I appreciate your handle.
I'm a big fan of Darth Hurricanes. He's always writing to us.
Okay, he asks, will we see Rey constructing her new lightsaber in episode 9, or will she just have it? Maybe a recreation of the deleted scene of Luke in Return of the Jedi, but with Rey to start off the movie. I'm going to start. Ladies first. I don't think we're going to see her construct it. I think we're just going to see her light it up.
Light it up.
Okay.
I don't think you need to see her construct it. I think they can explain it.
Is that a sound clip from the latest Korn record?
Sound it up.
That's Christian Bale's Batman voice.
I'm just thinking of Fall Out Boy. Light it up.
Oh, yeah.
Light it up.
But yeah, I think they're gonna explain it like off screen or something. I don't think they're gonna have her construct it, right? Okay. I don't think it's necessary. Like, what's it gonna add?
Yeah, like the construction montage. I kind of agree with you. Like the quick cuts, like now I'm ready. Like, I think she'll.
John is the worst movie maker ever.
I know.
No,
just like John's picturing like Hearts on Fire, like Rocky montage.
I am. You see the jump rope and
Ray
stuff.
like running up the cliff. And stuff.
Yeah,
she's breaking eggs, chugging them.
I think it's gonna be one of those things. I agree with Lacey. We're just gonna see her fire it up, and it's gonna be like, there it is. That's the new lightsaber, and whether it's the
Better
same
be double saber.
Yeah, whether it's the same one or not, or with a cracked crystal, maybe, who knows? But I think in the trailer we're gonna see her light that thing up, and then they're gonna be like, now Rey's new lightsaber on sale from Hasbro. Buy it now, and they're gonna sell them all. So I think the first trailer celebration, we're gonna see her light up that lightsaber, whether it's a double-bladed one or a single or a crackling broken crystal. You're going to see that saber. April 2019.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think that the smart move there is to do what they did with Ezra. You know what I mean? They just put that in the trailer. Boom, green lightsaber. They don't explain it, how he got it, anything
no
like that.
No buildy scenes, yeah.
They did the exact same thing with Return of the Jedi, too. They had a scene where Luke was constructing his lightsaber, and at the end of the day, they were just like, boring.
Yeah.
Cut this
we don't
out.
need it, yeah.
Nobody needs it. And I think John's also dead on with this, that you're going to see the lightsaber in the trailer, and then in the movie, Lacey's right, boom, double-lighted, double-ended. That could be really cool, because then you get best of both worlds. So you get to see that lightsaber as a new thing in the trailer, and then you get to see it as a new thing in the movie as well. So,
we should guess.
and that would be a huge surprise, too.
We should guess what we think the last scene of the trailer is going to be.
Oh, it's going to be Leia. It's got to be.
Yeah, he brought that up, and I think that might be the second trailer, or like
what do you think
final trailer.
What do you think?
Not sure about that.
What do you think the scene's going to be? If you were to guess what like the line is going to be, because it always ends with some line. I think she's going to say something like, "Hello, Ben," and then it's just going to...
Oh, of course you do.
It's got to go to her son.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it could. I think she could be right. My first thought was her saying "hope" or something again. You know,
right?
Like, this is what we're up against,
or this is it. This is the final battle, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Something along those lines. Maybe it's Finn, like, and he's just like, let's do it, or something.
No, they're gonna end with someone that's like not that John Boyega isn't wonderful. I'm saying they're gonna end with someone that's like They had who was the last? Oh, because it was Han Solo. Then it was Luke was the last
Luke,
line,
and then
so it's gonna
Leia.
be Leia.
Yeah, and it'll probably be something. I don't know, because Han's was like a hopeful, like Chewie were home, and Luke's was it's time for the Jedi to end. So that was dark. I think it might be like a middle ground thing. It might be like just stoically the strong leader Leia saying something about the rebellion or hope, and it'll be
this
a quick cut to her.
This is our final battle or something.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, this is the end, or something like that.
Yeah, or the war is ending, or because Luke said the war is just beginning. Like something, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll go around all day.
Cool.
Have we exhausted all the possibilities yet? Let's keep going.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys, for all your questions. We really appreciate it. If you want to be on the show, make sure to send us your questions with hashtag AskTheResistance on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN. Send us your questions, anything Star Wars related, and we will answer them on the show, hopefully. Yep. Back to you, John.
Thank you. Yeah, use the hashtag. And also, if you're not on Twitter, you can email us, resistancebroadcast@gmail.com. Maybe even comment on the YouTube videos with a question. We'll try to find them there. But if you are on Twitter, definitely, like Lacey said, use that hashtag, because we just click on the hashtag to help us find it. It's not, for anything other than that. So use that, and thank you very, very much. All right, guys, so that brings us towards the end of our show. We obviously do a couple minutes of fun stuff here at the end, so stick around here, because first we're going to tell you again, the Patreon is live. So
wait, I'm sorry, John, we have a Patreon?
Yeah, I forgot. I probably didn't mention it yet on this episode.
I noticed that you hadn't said anything, and I thought it was pretty important that we mentioned that. I thought people were going to forget.
I know. I'm going to name that. Yeah, let's name the title of this episode Patreon, McPatreon, and then we'll see if people get on board with that. But yeah, it is live, so join the people who have already joined the Resistance officially on the Patreon.com/Resistance Broadcast. 5 tiers. Check it out. A lot of exclusive stuff coming. A lot of stuff going up there this week. So get involved, and we appreciate all the support. We really do. If you guys aren't subscribed yet to us, you can do so on YouTube, if you're watching us right now, on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. We are everywhere. So go find us, subscribe to your favorite platform, listen, watch, get involved there. Twice a week, Monday and Thursdays, always. That will never change. I think. Who knows? Make sure you guys go to StarWarsNewsNet.com. That's our website for your latest news, reviews, editorials, information, and more. You guys can find me, John Hoey, on Twitter at Johnny Hoey, and writing and editing over at StarWarsNewsNet.com. James Baney, what about you, new haircut?
You can find me Twitter, Instagram at Myra Trunks, getting my hair cut. I'm gonna say something weird real quick. Have you guys ever looked in the mirror when you're wearing a Star Wars shirt and you go, it says Rats Raw? Have you guys ever seen that? Rats Raw?
Never. That's never happened.
Never thought that. Never. I don't know if because it's backwards on what I see, but it'll be forwards on what you guys see. But I don't know. It's when it's backwards, it says Rats Raw. Raw. I don't know. It's weird, and I think of rats when I look at myself in the mirror and wearing a Star Wars shirt. So if you want more stuff like that, Twitter and Instagram.
If you want more things like that, like me counting how many headphones football players are wearing at a game.
Star Wars rats. Dude, those football players need to gain some respect for being on a professional team. Not professional, but like a I don't know, collegial team, whatever. They were all wearing headphones. It was ridiculous. Put your headphones down. I feel like a grandpa. Lacey, what is that?
It's an Ewok baby.
Lacey,
that is sickening.
Where can people find you to ask you about your Ewok baby?
So you can find me and my Ewok baby on Twitter at Lacey Gillerin, and then on Instagram at Lacey Gillerin. I talk about Star Wars and fun things and politics on election night. Not all the time, just on election night. On Twitter. And then I post more personal stuff on Instagram. So I'll see you guys around the interwebs.
All right. They'll be excited to talk politics with you a year from now. So good thing you brought that up.
I only talk on election night. I never talk about politics.
Next November,
I had some complaints.
mark your calendar.
I had some complaints about getting political on Twitter, and I was like, yo, if there's one day, it's
They're
election.
like, Lacey, less politicking, more Kylo Renning, okay? More baby Ewoking.
Sure. Baby, look how ugly it is.
That is kind of ugly. Yeah.
It is ugly. That's a nightmare object.
This was a Star Wars Celebration exclusive, I think, for Germany or something.
How about cute Chewie, Mighty Mugs Chewie?
This is one of those things that you look at and you're like, it's that meme that says soon.
James, you have the Darth Maul bobblehead. Oh, yeah, the meme that says soon. Yeah, that is kind of creepy. I'm not going to lie. All right, guys. So we have reached the end of the show. Thank you guys as oh wow,
he's got a pillow pet.
He's got a pillow pet, yeah. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening. Enjoy your weeks, and we'll be back here on Thursday where we're going to talk about, do we want to see Anakin Skywalker in Episode 9? Let's get to the bottom of this.
No.
We'll look at it from every angle possible. We'll discuss it, and then we'll hear from you guys. Until then, enjoy your weeks, and we'll see you next time right here on the Resistance broadcast. See you around, kids.